roses, and welcome back to my channel where we are all about God, glam, and owning our business. So if you can tell by my bun, it is about 10 o'clock at night. We had some troubles with the intro and the outro, but not having either was not gonna work. So once again, not today, Satan. So I am bringing you guys this soft beat look that I loved the results. So without further ado, we are just gonna jump right into this video.
All right, roses, so this video is about me, but mainly about the boys because they just do silly stuff like this.
This is why it's hard for me to get videos done.
So jumping into this tutorial, we are going to start with brows. Now, I did use a pomade in this video just to give me a little bit more of a bolder defined brow, and I actually really like the way that it came out. I did put a little bit too much of a oil in there, so it did come out very almost oily in a sense, but it went on really slick, which I liked, and I was able to set that with a powder shortly after. But let me tell you, roses, these brows took forever. I don't know who I think I am, but we got to get it together, okay? Like, I'm trying new things. I got my ColourPop pencil, but I just wanted to try this because I've been watching so many YouTube videos. And now we're going to conceal those brows and just take a flat concealer brush to do that with. This is honestly a part that takes a little bit of a long time for me as well because I'm not super 100% sure what kind of shape that I'm going for. I like to go throughout multiple shapes, usually like rounded or a little bit more arched. So it kind of really just depends on the day. And so then I'll just take that concealer brush and I will just begin to buff and blend that down to my eyelid, because I will be taking a lighter concealer shade to apply all over my mobile lid to create brightness on my lid itself. So now I am going to actually, this is something a little interesting. I did carve out the top of my brows with the concealer shade because it was a little closer to my skin tone, but not too much to where I was super worried about like a halo brow. But I know with these nice and defined kind of brows, you definitely want something super snatched, okay? So honestly, I've done this video was something that I did all outside of what I normally do or what I've normally been showing you guys in my videos. So I would love to know what you guys thought of this. And here we're going to go with that lighter concealer and just apply that all to my mobile lid. And I'm going to take a dense buffer brush and I'm going to pack that in and really just blend that out after we're done applying it with that concealer brush. And this is just to give us more brightness right at the mobile lid and make sure that because if you don't want a super bright brow bone highlight that might not go with your skin tone, this is a great way to kind of blend and diffuse the two. Or maybe if you're going to have some really bright and bold colors, this is also a great thing to try. Moisturize them lips. Everybody needs Vaseline, honey. Have y'all seen that YouTube ad? And so just going in, honestly, I use this brush the entire time for all of my like shading and definition. So I'm just going to take this, and I took this nice cool tone brown. The palette that I was using was a little bit more cool tone in the browns than I thought, but I actually really like the way that this came out. So like I said before, roses, this is all about trial and error and learning process. So I just go and I pack that cool tone brown all into my crease and get it to the depth and the opacity that I really want it at. And so I'm just going to start on the other eye, and this one I decided to layer up because the first one I felt like I did have a little bit more product on my brush and wasn't really thinking about how pigmented it might be. But then I just go in and I just keep layering that, and I get it back to the same depth and definition as the other eye, which I think is something that's really important for this kind of soft look that we're going to go for. We do want our crease to be really defined, but we also want it to be very soft and diffused, just like we would do a regular smoky eye. But this one I just started off with the depth first. And so what you'll see is that right here I'm going to take a fluffy brush and just a more so like an orangey brown kind of shade, and I'm just going to buff that first layer. And this is the process that I keep going back and forth with. If I lose any definition, I go back in with my shader brush, but for the most part I'm using these two fluffy blending brushes to blend that outer crease and just really work it up into the brow bone to where it's nice and fluffy and diffused.
It's a baby invasion.
Mom.
Yes.
So this video was literally a baby invasion. Like, this is not a joke. And so I love that I can be a little bit more personal with you guys and share a little bit more of my struggles as a mom. And I just love that, you know, the boys were like super active in this video. And there's like a part where that like I got up and they came and they sat on my chair. So this is something that I hope that you guys really enjoy. But going back in with that crease brush that we first used, I'm just going back in and I am just deepening up the sides of the eyeshadow look in the outer corner, just making sure that it's as deep as I want, because after this we are going to begin to start the cut crease work. Not necessarily because I didn't want this to be a cut crease, but the way that I created the base for the eyeshadow look to go on. You guys will see it. And so here we are, just checking back in with where we were and get that soft diffused look. Did what she did, and just going back in between those two fluffy tapered brushes. And so now I'm taking a eyeshadow brush, and I'm just going that's kind of what I mean by like nice oily kind of white bone color. I didn't set it yet, but you guys will see me go back in and do that. So now we're gonna begin, and we're just gonna do this basically as if we were doing a cut crease. Now you guys see I do put a lot of detail into this, or I let you guys see a lot of this, because my eyes are a little different in the sense that they're not hooded and they don't have enough like nice natural space for a cut crease. So I definitely have to fake one. But just really taking your time when beginning your cut creases, you know, kind of stamping it on and creating a guide. You don't want to just go in and start off and think you got it on the right place and maybe it's too high or it's too low. So you definitely want to stamp it on, see where you're starting, and constantly look at where you're going. Then we're jumping into the second eye, and what you guys just seen me did was taking that dense dome brush, sorry guys, and I just began to buff out my outer edges into that concealer that we just placed. So now I'm just continuing to cut that crease, and I do not understand how I don't have the most craziest whatever knot in my neck. Here is where the boys really took over.
Yeah, you can't even see you. You're so little. You gotta stand up. You gotta stand up. See, my name is Raymond. Say hi. Can you wave hi?
No, stop.
Yeah. Gotta put you down. All right. No, you're gonna say hi, and this is Raylan. Wave hi. All right, mommy's gotta finish, okay? Hey.
And so yeah, so I do that weird turn my neck kind of a thing. So now I'm going in with it really is a fluffy tapered brush, and I just pack in kind of that bone color that we put on our brow bone. And I did not like the way that this one was applying, so I do create the base with it, but I just don't feel like it's softly diffused where the crease would meet the eyeshadow. I wanted that to be very soft. So now I'm going back in with a more tapered brush, and I'm going back in and adding just a little definition right above to begin to blend that out. But what you guys will actually see me do is I washed off my brush, and after I do this outer corner work, I actually use that same brush that I'm using here to pack in that bone white, and it just gives me that perfect look that I was going for. So this is really important. I wanted to keep the darkest part of the eyeshadow on the outer corners because I did not want that coming into my inner corners and making it seem softer. So with this brush, I did wash it off. I just gave it a little rinse and some alcohol and some brush cleaner spray, and we were good to go as far as like any pigmentation. As you guys seen, I mainly used 3 brushes for this look. It's super simple. These were genuinely, I want to say, like 3 eyeshadows too, and I always have to stop for a dance party. You guys always stop for a dance party with your kids. But going back in, we are just going to pack that in, and as you guys see, I got more color payoff, and it did give me the opacity that I wanted. So now we're going to jump into liner. This is something I have got to get some real angles for you guys, get a little bit closer. Basically, I just got to stop catting off on this camera charger, and yeah, because The way that I move is so funny, but here we go. This is the most important part. I'm just going to begin to create the guide for the wing. It does not have to start off huge. It does not have to start off big. You can start small and work your way up longer or thicker or in more higher up. There's so many things. Liner is super forgiving as long as you take your time. It is okay to take your time. If you don't have that much time, you might want to look into a matte liquid liner. That way it will dry down quickly. It'll give you more room to work. Whereas this one is the e.l.f. liquid liner and it does not dry down super fast. So it does give you a little bit more room to work with. And it just depends on if you want something that you can move around or if you want something that's going to stay right as soon as you put it. And that would really be the difference between like a more so, I would consider this to be a little bit more runny liquid liner and a matte liquid liner. And so as you guys see, I'm just building up that arch, the wing liner. And I'm just going to continue to do this. I wanted to give you guys a little bit more insight as to like genuinely how long these kind of things take me. And we're going to jump right into foundation where I was not holding back on how much I put on my face, okay? And so I'm just gonna take my sponge. As you guys see, I'm not even going in with my flat top kabuki, just going straight in with my sponge. Today was all sponge work. And so this was something that was a little bit new because I only do this when I'm rushing. And in this last bit of this video, like, well, not even this last bit, in this portion of the video, I was rushing because I had no idea. My phone was on like 5%, had no idea how much longer I was gonna go. So I had to get this done, roses, okay? Look at this, we blended, okay? Now jumping in to concealer, I am just going to place that in more of a V shape around my face. And I also blend this out with my sponge, Holla Roses. So this takes about 2 seconds. I actually really like the way that this came out. I thought that it looked very nice and fresh and useful underneath the eye. I still do like blending it out with the brush first, but I thought that this was a great place to start. Then going in with this contour, honey, we are just going to snatch this face. I am trying to be a snatched egg, which means that I want all of my high points, which are pretty rounded, to look snatched in a sense. And so taking this brush that, oh my gosh, this brush literally, oh my gosh, I can't even explain to you guys. This is just one of my favorite brushes to contour with. Please excuse it. I was recording with it earlier in the day, so it was the closest thing to me, so I picked it up. And so just going in, we're just going to continue to buff. And I actually switched the brush. I needed something a little bit more dense that moved product really good for my chin contour. But roses, I have got to tell you guys, I have no idea what goes on with me in these angles. I think it is so funny. And taking a fluffy powder brush, I am just going to pack a little bit of translucent and banana powder underneath my eyes and set all those high points where we might have added concealer or anywhere that we want to set and for it to not move. Because you guys know I am a blush addict. I have been loving some bright red, rosy, pinkish, glowy cheeks. You give it to me, I'm loving it. And so it's been really fun because blush was something that I actually used to kind of stray away for, or usually, you know, like keep it very nice and natural. So I popped on my lashes and did some black on my waterline off camera because my phone died. And so I'm just going in and putting on some highlight and putting those on the high points of my face. I also did lose the footage of me finishing my lips, which really sucked, but I did take that lip gloss right there in the middle and just pack that onto my lips. So I start off by lining it. I am trying to figure it out, roses, for my lips. I usually don't use lip liner, but I'm gonna get it, all right? We struggle together, we grow together, it's good, okay? And then going in with fully loaded, I am just going to line out the outer perimeter of my lips. And I missed the part of me putting the lip gloss, but I literally just put the lip gloss right on top of it. And then I just used some setting spray, and that's it, Rose.
All right, roses. Thank you guys again for watching. You know I appreciate every single ounce of love and support that you guys show me. It really means the world to me, even if it's just a DM letting me know that you watched my video, just commenting on my YouTube videos themselves. I really appreciate all of it. And I would recommend hitting that subscribe button, and the notification bells will notify you when I put new videos on. If I have a video in between then, It is going to be a vlog of the experience of baby Jonah. We love him and we can't wait for him to come. So I'm so excited. And I'll see you guys next week, roses. Love you.